my buddy Snowflake with me. You might recognise him from the Facebook group, Blokes and Their Ice Creams. So tell us a bit about some of the interesting vehicles that you own, Dan.
Suzuki Sierra, long wheelbase. That's set up for driving, twin lock, reduction gears. Yeah, all the cool stuff, big tyres, no lift.
And as we've recently found out, it's the one to beat. Snowflake definitely knows how to drive this thing. So yesterday we've just come back from a trip up the Victorian High Country. We'll show you a few clips, but Dean absolutely dominated. So there's a couple of pretty serious 4Bs on this trip. What was that? It was a couple of GUs.
Yeah, 2 GUs, 1 wagon, 1 ute.
A ute and a wagon, twin locked.
Yeah, TD42s, big turbos and top mount coolers and 12mm pumps and all the jazz.
All the jazz.
All the patrol stuff.
It's a bit of a concern because it turns out there might be more to four-wheel driving than just horsepower, so I might be up shit creek a little bit with this Hilux, but that just moves on to the next lot of mods, I guess. Yeah. No, so how'd you go?
Yeah, good. I think the little Sierra was very well underrated.
And no one quite expects how far the thing's really going to go. It was a little 1.3 litre.
Yeah, the first sort of serious bit of a hill climb there for the day. Everyone stops and goes, go on, you give it a go, drive up that hill. Up it without even spinning the wheel, and everyone sort of looks a bit shocked and
takes a step back and thinks, oh god, how are we going to go here?
Yeah, made it look easy really.
But anyway, it does well. You know, lightweight and small, short wheelbase and whatever, or long wheelbase it is, but for a Suzuki anyway, comes in handy.
Yeah, no, it's good. It definitely shows up some of the bigger rigs a lot of the time.
Yeah, last episode I left off, I just mounted the shifter and all that, but eventually I moved on to I put a power steering pump in it. I bought an Astra electric power steering pump. So I'll give you a bit of a rundown on how I've gone about putting that in. A few modifications, nothing too exciting, so I'll keep it brief. Okay, so now onto the power steering. Originally I was going to put a mechanical power steering pump back down underneath, but there's not a lot of room. I thought it'd be easier. I'll give one of these Astra electric power steering pumps a run. So I've got one of them, came in a little cradle thing, which was good, and the wreck has been nice enough to give me the hoses and things that were attached to it. So I'll just cut up that cradle that it came with, cut most of the other mounting points and things off the bottom, just attached a bit more onto it. I'll put this brace on there because the heater hose is currently going to run over the top. I don't want it to flop around everywhere, so that'll just mount on the inner guard behind the alternator right above the power steering box, and that should hopefully get the job done. With the hoses and whatnot, I haven't done one before. Hopefully I'm on the right track. Gonna just run, I've got it's pretty much fuel hose, 3/8 fuel hose. I'm gonna run for the suction line on one side. I've got these old lines that came off the Hilux originally. I'm gonna cut these pieces off. I'll use them. The top hose, the high pressure hose what I've done, I've just been down to my local hose joint, Spencer Diesel, and got this hose made up. So it's got a couple of fittings there that I'm going to weld onto those the old Hilux hoses on one end, and then onto the hose tail that came with the power steering pump on the other end. So I'll TIG them on there. Should be able to sort that out. Put a 90 on both ends, and then hopefully that'll get that sorted. Only nice short hose, so you can see it all, which is a little bit ugly, but it's right behind where it needs to be, and hopefully it's serviceable. Gonna make it sort of semi-easy to remove to help get to the plugs and whatnot, but hopefully that sorts that. There you go, so I've got one end all TIG welded up. You're probably thinking, why didn't you just silver solder that in there? The reason for that is I'm more confident with the TIG welder than I am at silver soldering. Now that doesn't mean that I'm competent, but if you're going to pay somebody else to work on your stuff, make sure you know the difference between confidence and competence. But anyway, that seems to work for me, so I'll stick with it. Okay, so I've got my Astra power steering pump all mounted up. Got the brace on there. That's the heater hoses I was talking about. Just made it so that's all removable. Just make it a bit easier to change the plugs and things if you need to. Got my hoses and that made up that I've welded up. They all worked out pretty good. See, sort of down in there, so they're only pretty short hose, just suction on the high pressure line. Got it wired up. I've never used one of these before. They do make a fair bit of noise. I'll turn the ignition on and demonstrate that. I think the fuel pumps are still pretty noisy, but so hopefully that's what they are meant to sound like. Apparently you're not supposed to run them dry too much, but it does all work. So that's all good. It's all happy. One more job ticked off. So what are we doing here, Snowflake?
We just put in a temporary kickdown cable for the auto.
Because Australia Post suck at the moment. With all this bullshit going on.
They're not really handy, so we've just got a push button cable and then I'll outer cable off a
Turbo 700.
Turbo 700, and we've
A few dog chews in this one, but you got to do what you got to do.
few zip ties on it, and I think that'll hold it on there. And it should do what it's meant to do.
It's going to take more than that to stop us, isn't
Just
it?
doesn't look right.
Doesn't quite look right, but we cut those cable ties and it should be good to go.
It should work right. It doesn't need to look right, it needs to work right.
If we get a skid, we're happy.
That's it.
Let's see how we go. Oh yeah, we'll go test this kickdown cable out and see if we're getting anywhere with that. I think we are, because that's already shifted better. It's heaps better.
Shit, yeah, that's good.
We might be on. here. She's a bit quicker than the 2.8 we took out. Anyway, on this nice private road here. Righto, we just got back from our little spin then. Definitely needed some more tranny fluid in it, so I just chucked another litre in it. I think that's must be up to 8 litres or something I got in there now. Not really up with the auto things, but getting there. Apparently it could take 9 or something from dry, so anyway, it's getting closer. It's still not tuned yet, that'll be coming up. So yeah, still running alright. It's getting real windy here, sorry about the wind noise. We run into a bit of that clearance issue I thought I was going to have on the front of the sump, so I'm going to move. Well, I'm still not sure either this diff or the new diff is going to be a little bit further forwards. Let us know what you think. If you know heaps of stuff about 4Bs, tell me what diffs I should put in this. I'm thinking GQ Patrol, except apparently the CVs are only small. GU are stronger, but they're real wide. I want to try and keep it looking pretty subtle still, so I don't want it hanging out way out the guards yet. But if you know stuff about 4Bs, give me some ideas. I need to know. What do you reckon? First impressions?
It's fast. It's definitely faster than my 1UZ Hilux.
That's alright.
So the race might be off.
That's good to know. Well, all good. So we might go see how bad this diff really is. See if we can make a mess of this paddock over here. I'll hand it over to Snowflake. Next episode we're going to tune it and put it on the dyno and see what she does, see if we can beat the 34 kilowatts. Pretty confident it's going to. And then we're going to do something about these diffs.